Okay, it is Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. Pretty sure about that. 3rd, first, second, yeah. Saturday the 3rd. Feels like a Tuesday, but it's supposedly Saturday, and I believe it's the 3rd. So, here we are. It is rainy, overcast, and a light rain. We've had like a half-inch of rain yesterday and today, and it's calling for rain for a week now. So we'll have to work in between raindrops. But here is today's pondering, if you will. So from this point, you can kind of see where the tracks have gone over to that point, right? And I'll move over here so you can see it from the other way. So you see how it's muddy. It's known muddy. And actually you can see underneath this is actually, we got some decking down there. That section here has decking. It's actually underwater right now. So, you know, driving over that with the cart is fine, but I have to get back a little farther. And then this is the path that it takes, that arc, to get over to there. All right, so you can kind of see the arc, and you can kind of see a couple of tree roots. Other than that, you can kind of see where it's all sinking in. So in order to get my cart to here with things on it, which now is doing pretty good, I have to work on this part. So there's kind of like two ponderings. One is, you know, it is not a square, right? I need an arc, a curve, path. So that's like a little bit different geometry than just a square edges on boards. And then the second is, you know, this is cross traffic, and people come here with their mower deck, which is not me, the property owner from down there does. So I don't want to like have a big raised thing that is going to impede their tractor work, mowing work. So how do I do armoring from there to there? Options in the past have included things like boardwalks, where, you know, planking is put on top of the ground and left open, right? Which, you know, we don't run a tractor over that with a mowing deck, because that wouldn't be good. We have, as you can see over here, you know, this has worked. I mean, besides it being underwater, you know, this is like sections of decking boards screwed into, I probably can show you a piece back over there, 2x4s. I think these are all cedar things, and I put them here, and you can maybe see the one that's over here too. Maybe it's a little bit better. Right, so this is probably like, I don't know, 4 foot by 3 foot section, and I just lay it on the ground, make sure that the 2x4 is dug out a little bit so it sits flat. The 2x4 just holds the boards together, and the boards sit on the ground for support. So it's not a matter of supporting weight over that span of 3 feet. And this works pretty good because it's only like a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch lip of where the boards are above. So it's easy to run tractors and things over this. So that's an option. You know, in this section was just planks, like 7-foot planks laid down. You can kind of see that's like, oh, there's a log, the top part of a log. Here's a plank. And then wood chips and dirt put on top. And this works pretty good. But it raises things up, and then you have the issue about the edge here, right? You got things like this sticking up. And then if you're coming up from the side, like you're doing cross traffic, when you hit this, then it pops up the other end. So then you have to do some stuff underneath. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see with the water, but this section here, there's planks underneath here. And what I did is I used a backhoe and I scraped dirt off like 2 or 3 inches, put the planks down and put the dirt back on top. Obviously it's the same elevation then as it was, just armored, and the water still collects. So I actually have to double plank, scrape the dirt off, put another layer of planks down, put the dirt back on top. And that's like a lot of work. I need like a backhoe, or I need to shovel a lot. So those are ponderings. Hang on. It's allergy season. Okay, my first thought was that I don't want to raise the elevation up too much because it's cross traffic, right? So, you know, people come up that way and they come through. I don't want to have mowing decks hitting, so I would dig down and put planking for armoring, but that's a lot of work. So kind of the issue is cross traffic. There's traffic this way and there's traffic this way, and no, you can do a pretty easy job with just traffic this way of getting planks level, but when traffic comes from this way, it pops. You put the pressure here and it pops the other end up. So then you gotta put boards underneath to do that, so it's even more digging. And what I've found is these kind of sections, when they're screwed together, take cross traffic much nicer. They stay in place, they don't pop up and everything. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go with something like this. And I just have to figure out geometry here. Alright, so from this point here, that's 20 foot to that stake. We're going to move it in a minute. And it's 20 foot to that stake. So it would seem like it's a quarter circle, right? Not a half circle, but a quarter circle, 20 foot radius. But it is not exactly, because let's take a look. Alright, so here we go. 20 foot. You know, we want to be over in there, and we're way over in the shrub brush pile here. So that's probably, I don't know, 4 or 6 feet over from where we want to be. So it is not a perfect quarter circle. Right, when we get to the spot where it lines up here. So I'm not interested in moving the path into here. I have to move all this brush, and this is a known low spot. You can see this is just all low. I'd rather stay up higher where it's not as swampy. All right, let's have a look. All right. So that's where 20 foot is. And yeah, it's like 4 foot if we made it, 4 foot's right here. Yeah, I think that's the outside path I'd like to take. So this is 16 foot here, 20 foot there, radius, and 20 foot to line up to there. So it's not a quarter circle, it is something else. Maybe I will put it in CAD and see if we could come up with arc for an inner one, and 4 foot over. Right, so that was 4 foot. This is 8 foot. That's probably on the inside. Yeah, so we need a 4 foot wide path. Okay, so here's a little CAD. So this is 20 foot. From here to here is 20 foot. From here to here is 20 foot. So this is a 20 foot quarter circle right there. That's highlighted. This is a 16 foot quarter circle. So we wanted to draw an arc from 20 foot through 16 foot to 20 foot. So that's what this arc looks like. And then this is a 4 foot wide section. So that would be what the trail would look like. And that does not look, so that doesn't really look, when I'm walking in like this, I don't think it's such a sharp turn like that. So this is like a 36 by 28 trapezoid section, which seems like would fit in this arc here to follow that line and this line, but it gets messed up at the ends. So I'm not quite sure if this is accurate. So what I am kind of certain about is that, you know, a 3 foot by 4 foot section is manageable for me to build and move and do by hand with one person. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to put the track, the muddy track that I go, I'm going to measure every 3 foot and measure the radius. Another 3 foot, measure whatever the radius is, and then we'll come back here and plot it and see if this arc is the arc that we're dealing with, or if we got something else going on before I start building some pieces to try.